everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with this Polish-Lithuanian campaign. Last time around we had a shorter video where we dealt with one of the big Prussian armies. I was hoping to get both of them. Unfortunately that did not happen, so we're gonna have to deal with the other one today. But before we go ahead and do that, I have been drawing extra troops forward. So we've got 4 regiments coming from the capital, we've got 1 coming up from Western Prussia, and then I actually recruited a few in this town. So we are readying up to go ahead and attack this force right here, which is most likely going to be a tougher fight because these are at full numbers, plus they've got a lot more cannons. But before we go ahead and do that, we actually need to move forward, right? We can't do an hour video just around a battle. We need to capture territory to be moving forward, and that is hopefully what we're going to do today. Seems easy enough. The Ottoman force, I don't know where they're going, but they have, the ones that were around here have actually moved through and are now currently in the Bohemian region. So their army has moved through here, and as far as my spy can see, the other big force, which is out here, hasn't moved at all. So currently we are perfectly fine with attacking and taking this. And this time, I intend to hold it. So we're going to cross the bridge. We're going to go ahead and attack. We're going to take this over. And then as soon as this is done, I am going to intern. And then we're going to attack the farmland. So this will be the second time we fight the Janissaries. But this time around, we are poised to win the fight. With that said, let's go straight into battle, shall we? Dreaded rain, this will make misfires a certainty. I'm a bit disappointed here. I was hoping the engineer teams could at least deploy spikes, but currently there is nothing special about them. I cannot deploy any kind of defenses more than, you know, normally, I guess, when you defend. Maybe then they'll be able to deploy better defenses, but now they're seemingly pointless. I don't know why. Cannons situated right here. Then we've got the infantry divided into 1 brigade or 5 regiments each, and then the grenadiers. I'm kind of... Didn't I have 4 grenadiers? It's like I'm missing one. Am I don't know. Holtz, Grenadiers, Majowski, and Ogonam. I feel like there's supposed to be a 4th one. Which, I don't know. I've lost that one. Then we have Musketeers, Jipilu right here. Followed by Hios, Tunai, and Kurt. So we got those all in the 1st Brigade. A single winged hussars, and then we've got the dragoons, or carbineers actually, over here, followed up by the light cavalry, the Wallachians, however you know how to pronounce it. With that, let's go ahead and start, and our enemies deploy quite far back. I've dug in the mortars. Not that I was likely to hit them anyways. Interesting here that the enemy marches while when I'm up here, the rain is gone. But when I come down here, the dreaded rain drenches my troops. As the enemy force moves forward, that's plays right in my hand, actually. We're gonna go ahead and advance and meet the enemy head on, and then for the cavalry, they will start making their way up towards here, together with the lights, and then the engineer group will be heading towards town and in through there, and they're going to be followed by the winged hussars. Currently the cannons are firing for the mortars, which is a very unnecessary target because they're barely gonna hit anyone. Instead, I'm going to fire for the Tatars and as we fire for them, we hopefully fire through the rest of the rabble. The fight is about to start. My armies are just about coming into position here. We actually have the Bosniaks moving straight towards us. And I'm gonna switch cannon target for the rabble instead. Interesting. Look at this. Look at the long spears that the Bosniaks have, and then compare it to the spears that the winged hussars have. That seems like a mistake, doesn't it? I don't know where the Bosniaks are going, but at this point it looks like they're going to hell. There's no way they'll be able to do anything. I have gone ahead and punched through with the Wallachian cavalry, and we're gonna hit their mortar groups and kind of clear out the back here, and so protect ourselves from all that fire. Okay, the Bosniaks have moved completely through our lines and ended up all the way back there. I'll order the hussars to charge them. The enemy has possibly found a weak spot right here. Oh, is that the one that my cannons are aiming for? I'm just gonna fire somewhere out around here. Janissaries attacking. Right, we got rid of that. The light cavalry will be pushed towards here. And you will be attacking here. The carbineers will also now be moved in. I'm hoping here the line holds from the melee onslaught, which it looks like it is. The faithful have broken, and soon enough the rabble as well. And the Janissaries are also looking to be broken here. The light cavalry charges down, possibly quite dangerous here against the Mamluks. But if they're able to take them unaware from the back, could very well work in my favor. As I've got a lot of cavalry going in right now, I'm gonna order my cannons to cease firing. These units could probably gain some ground with the rest of 1st Brigade and the engineers. My light cavalry did not do too well against the Mamluks. I'm going to order them back actually, and we're going to have the 3 Carabinier units move up and see if they can do anything. Janissary guards, these guys could probably gain some ground on them. You know what? I would have liked to sit and fired on the Mamluks, but I'm going to charge in. Okay, the enemy is actually holding on here. We need some extra aid to deal with that center. So I've got my Wallachians. Actually, what I want to do is get after the hand mortars before they blow a hole in the Hios regiment, as they're now firing their bloody grenades. So the light cavalry is going in. Enemy general was just killed. I guess he was in the Mamluk unit. The Mamluk unit broken. Carabiniers, the light cavalry is coming online again. Okay, so they actually broke the Ogonam Grenadiers, which isn't great. I'm gonna focus in a large part of the cavalry on those. The Janissary Royal Guard needs to be broken. And you know what? Let's throw Hios and the Tunai regiments forward into a bayonet attack on the mortars there to aid before the cavalry is broken. Looks like the line here did force them off. Ogonam, I'm sure, is going to come back to aid us here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swing this up. Yes, Ogonam is back. Move forward. No surprise here that the enemy was able to get a lot of kills on them there. This bump probably took up a lot of their firepower. The Carabiniers were broken off by the Royal Guards, but this has allowed my troops to fix their position and fire in a greater way on the enemy. Let's have the light cavalry hurry out on the enemy garrison troops, and then we'll have the 2 regiments reorganizing themselves, followed up by the 3rd, and then we're gonna have the engineers moving through. I'm gonna have the cannons focusing on the Royal Guards over here. Kind of a messy fight around here, and looks like it's gonna take a lot to actually break the enemy over here. I'm gonna order my grenadiers to charge in and make sure that we break the enemy, and then all the cavalry will be forced back and reorganized. Push through, as I'm sure 2 regiments here soon enough ready to set up and firing on the enemy, and then the engineers will be setting up around the back. These 2 should be able to advance further on the enemy. You will take a slight angle there. Okay, so everyone kind of got broken here. We'll have these 3 regiments advance. Okay, so we got the Royal Guards. Let's hurry into positions. Can we get a grenade throw over here? It's a lot of firing going on across the line, but I fear that a lot of these positions are probably quite bad, just like the Oganam Grenadiers that were firing into the ground. Alright, let's see, these 3 ordered to set up there. We're gonna surround this Janissary Guard. Let's have... Actually, no. I won't have the Majovsky Grenadiers charge them. Instead, I will have the cavalry follow. Now we can take the regiments up here and the Grenadiers and start to completely surround the enemy. And then the cavalry can move down into the valley to complete the surrounding action around here. Actually, the engineers will be the ones to move in to completely surround the enemy force. Oh, these are archers. But you know what? I've had enough. Fixed bayonets. The 18th, 17th, and 15th regiments. Fix bayonets. And they go in just after the artillery attack. And that is actually enough to unnerve the larger of the remaining regiments. And so when the 15th regiment go in, I'm sure the enemy will soon enough break. I will order in advance all the rest of the troops from all sides here coming in. So the Royal Janissary Guard is broken. Soon enough the archers should be broken as well. And then Hungary falls under our control. Actually, they're holding on pretty well against the 17th Regiment. Even just 54 archers holding away 107 out of the 17th Regiment. I'm gonna order the nearby regiments to join in. There we go. The victory was finalized. Or so I thought. There's another royal guard that's sitting up there. Anyways, the fight... Oh, you made it through... No, you haven't made... You... What are you? Rabble? What? The Rabble's back? Anyways, clearly the fight is won. I will go ahead and claim this battle as a victory. Here's the result of the battle. Potomsky's army of 6,500 goes in against a small force of 3,600 Ottomans. The Ottomans are wiped out compared to us that lost 1,200 men. Biggest takeaway is that the Royal Guard, no surprise, is a pretty good unit. And also the fact that the engineers seems rather useless. I guess in a defensive posture they might make up for their not so useful traits in just a standard battle. In terms of the highest killers, it comes down to the cavalry. No surprises, they're able to chase down a lot of enemy infantry, and then we have an infantry regiment. It's a shame it doesn't actually say like actual names of them here. Not very easy to identify which one it is. But it's one that has 251 soldiers left, and then you can go through the list. And we've got victory. Now, the idea here is to actually hold on to this territory. Gonna go ahead and I cannot repair. I can dismantle the barracks. But that's not the what we are intending to do. One thing that we will dismantle, though, is all the religious schools that they've built. So we'll stop them turning the Hungarians into Levantine, which is up to 8.6%. And 63% Hungarian. That is going to be changed. Actually, you know what? I might as well turn you know what? I'm gonna turn everything to dust. We're not gonna have any buildings with the sort of Ottoman culture around here, even though I could just wait to build them up afterwards. We're gonna go ahead and end turn, so I can bring in these extra troops, and then we're gonna have a fight against the Prussians. Oh yes, something I completely forgot about. In between episodes, the Swedes landed a force of 3,000 men, including clan of traditional keepers from Iceland. They've recruited Icelandic Vikings to join in the fight. There is no chance whatsoever that we'll be able to hold it, so unfortunately I'm gonna lose the Livonian region to the Swedes. This is quite unsettling, as I have nothing set in the north to go ahead and hold these bloody Swedes away. So very unfortunate that the Swedes have taken over the Estonian and Livonian region from us. Now, this is problematic for a lot of reasons, because the north of my country is open, but also because now this opens up for the Russians to take this. And then I will be left in, you know, a position where I can't retake it as well. What we will do is that, I mean, currently this army, I'm sure, can hold on to the Hungarian area for quite a while without any major issue. The problem arises with what we're going to do here with the Prussians, or what's going to happen with the Prussians. Now, this army can, after this battle, this army can split off into two sections, where one of the generals will march as quickly as possible up to the Livonian region and retake it. One problem, though, is the Swedish Navy, which is very large, as we can see here. And there's no way I'll be able to, in any capacity, to build anything to fight this. Now, the Danish have a sizable fleet. Unfortunately for me, the Danes have actually surrendered to the Swedes, and as you noted, they had Icelandic troops, which means that Sweden have even taken Iceland from the Danes. The Danes are left with only their home region, unfortunately for them. But in terms of everything, a lot of it's going to be decided by the outcome of this battle right here. So let's take probably my largest force to date with 8,217 troops against 8,650 Prussians. And let's see who wins, the Winged Hussars or the Prussian Grenadiers. We know this battlefield since before. The difference here is that our position has been moved forward since the last time, so I've been able to deploy my cannons further forward. Now still there's this ridge here that obscures a lot of our view, but we have more of a favorable position. Since I've got extra troops now, I can't remember, did I have 4? Well, anyways, it's 5 units of regular musketeers, plus 1 light for the brigades. So we've got 1 infantry brigade, 2nd and 3rd. This time around I've placed all the hussars in one group going to the high hill. And we've got 3 in defense, plus the faster guard cavalry sit up right here. Might actually have them go around here instead, but we'll see. The first thing that goes out the window with contact of the enemy is, of course, the plan. Ooh, the Prussians they've set up as far away as they possibly can, and they've dug in really deep with defensive obstacles everywhere, which is going to make it really hard for my winged hussars to maneuver through this. Currently, though, it looks like they're fucking up their entire plan by moving all the troops around. Anyways, it looks like my artillery will be very ineffectual at this range, and it will also take quite a while for my troops to get into a position to start their attack. But off we go into battle. Musket fire has started as the 3rd Brigade closes in on their artillery position. As we can see, the enemy has clustered almost all their troops right here. 1st Brigade is about to come in contact with the enemy as well. 2nd one, as it is facing right the worst barrage of the enemy, is gonna hold back until there's some progress of 1st and 3rd Brigade, which looks to be pretty soon, given the fact that most enemy troops are stationed right over there. Like, imagine firing into this mess. If I'd be able to move my cannons forward and be able to fire into that, that would have been wonderful. Unfortunately for me, that's not the case, though. Right, I'm gonna form a square, as the enemy's right there. We've got the light foot. It's gonna turn a little bit so we can fire on these guys, and then this unit will turn up so you can fire on these. But we will continue with the rest of the brigade forward. Right, we have we're exchanging fire. Regiment Grenadiers and Nick's Light exchanging fire, and then we're exchanging fire on this side. Let's go ahead and make sure that we bring our superior numbers, as they're bringing in only a few troops. Also, I have the Light Guard Cavalry. Let's go ahead and use the troops to that we have to good use and attack. Okay, continue on the attack. All my hussars have made it in around here. The terrain behind here is god-awful, and the entire battlefield, plus the way the enemy is dug in, definitely does not lend itself to a huge cavalry charge, unfortunately. Let's strike here, and then start wielding the rest. Start wielding the rest of the brigade towards the enemy. Now I do have the 3 reserve units, and they're gonna be joining 1st Brigade, as those guys are the ones that currently are facing the most enemies. Okay, so the advance is gonna have to stop here, as we are beset by cavalry. Brandenburg Drabants. Interesting. Kind of dressed like, what's they called? Musketeers. But as they only have cavalry here, I feel like the 3rd Brigade, once it's dealt with the enemy cavalry, will be able to quickly move in on the enemy. And the way the enemy have deployed themselves, they're kind of, you know, causing quite a bit of trouble for themselves by deploying in the fashion which they are, where their numbers won't really matter because they've deployed them on such a cramped area. Okay, so we brought down the 5th Cavalry. Ooh, we actually lost substantial troops out of the 8th Regiment. But the cavalry is now being destroyed. We've got mortars, that'll be easy to advance on. Demi-cannons, a little bit worse. Cavalry continues to attack and harass the brigade. Let's go ahead and get rid of these 2, which are now holding up the entirety of 1st Brigade. Let's move the cavalry in quickly. And strike them. And as that is happening, 1st Brigade will be moving forward into the advance with the reserves following steady afterwards. Now the Entrange, I don't know what kind of unit this is, but the Grenadiers are holding on compared to this other unit which was quickly sent away. Oh, we're almost on the enemy. We've got 1 regiment setting up right there. I think it's more important to face those, so I'm gonna deploy the troops like this. And then the rest of these will continue the advance. The Hussars will move through. Now, it's kind of dangerous here. I will decide to deploy 2nd Brigade moving forward now to plug the gap. Finally, the Grenadiers were broken as well. The cavalry will be sent out to the flank again. The enemy is moving further and further away from our lines. There's nothing really standing against 1st Brigade, so they will continue all the way up to the enemy's position. Close range fire over here. Let's go ahead and see. Stop to fire on these. And then each on each side there. 2nd Brigade moving forward. Gonna meet 7th Grenadiers, which are coming in. I want to see if I can lock most of these enemy units in a battle. And then once that's done, I will... you know what, you probably need to gain ground all the way up to that hill. Okay, halt these 3. But the other 3 will continue to join up with the units over here. Okay, let's see. It's Fusilier Guard. So this could be nasty. But I feel like in a prolonged fight we're not going to do too well. This unit right here is going to need aid though. Armored pikemen coming forward. So this unit definitely needs support as soon as possible. 2nd Reg... oh, they're already actually being very unhappy with the situation, to say the least. Although they are fighting hard against this guard unit. 260 of ours, 200 of them. 2nd Regiment is moving into aid. We're being held up a little bit here by this unit. Okay, there's firing all across the line except for over here. There's a guard regiment possibly set to flank us. Gonna have the cavalry ready over there. Let's go ahead and see. The pikes being broken. Looks like we're gonna have to hurry here. Okay, you're gonna have to get rid of those. Charging quickly. My cavalry coming up behind. We've got cavalry now joining in. Arquebusiers attacking over here. We're gonna form a square. Looks like they're now deploying most of their troops into an attack. Let's send forwards some of the reserve here to join the fight. And yes, we are about to get flanked by this unit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring forwards these 3. And then you will move up to stop this one. And I will attack this unit from 2 sides. Okay, so unfortunately 9th Regiment was forced back. And it looks like 2nd might be forced back as well, since it's attacked from multiple sides. However, I was able to break the mortars over there, and hopefully it looks like I will be able to break the armored pikemen. There's so many enemy troops now, though, moving on the attack. There are not a lot of safe areas for my hussars to move through, but I'm gonna have to get them into the fight here. Looks like I won't be needed to deploy that one over there. I think it's safer here. 1st Brigade, I mean 2nd, is definitely the one that's heavily on set, and then 3rd is also in a pretty bad spot. There's room to move through here, but it might be better actually for my winged hussars to hit the units out here, and then unfortunately 2nd Brigade is gonna have to fight as best they can and hope that 3rd will help as much as possible here. Okay, we were able to break that one. That's good. Let's sandwich this one. We'll have 2 winged hussars. And then the rest of the winged hussars... Oh no, there isn't safe there. We'll have to move even there's so many of these cavalry obstacles that can't really move through. Looks like there's so much troops actually being broken by the enemy troops here. I need to find a way through for the cavalry. To break these Prussians. Oh, no, no, no. Can you go through there? You two. I think you'll be able to push through there. They're being fired up the flank like crazy over here. Finally we got through there. Should be able to get through maybe. If you also go there. Very difficult position, and it's so messy right now. Okay, so we've got some units rallying. Let's make sure we turn them towards facing the right direction of the enemy. I was hoping to be able to use the hussars in a major action against the enemy, but they've dug in so well that like there's very few avenues of attack. And right now this one, we've got one here and one there. Cavalry is all bottled up. And right now we've got a really difficult situation here. The 7th Regiment Wyatt is facing such an onslaught of Prussian troops. It's crazy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push these through here. And then hopefully turn them to go through here. Can I maybe get you through there? We're definitely losing cavalry on the spikes. But there isn't a lot I can do about it. Right, they kinda got through there. And then they'll join the main part of the cavalry. You know what? Join in the melee fight. You will be able to join in through there. Can you break that one already? We desperately need the cavalry to join the fight over here. We have a pretty good chance of breaking that one, I feel like. Move forward over here. What are you doing? Oh, I ordered you probably to attack a specific unit. Let's reorganize this because we've got lots of Prussians rallying over there. Okay, the cavalry's kind of made it through. I'm surprised Wyatt has held out, given the onslaught of the Prussians. But now when the cavalry joins in, Wyatt will counterattack and will get rid of them. Okay, hussars. The enemy that's made it out of their defensive lines will now be attacked. All the cavalry will sweep through. So even with... Oh, what's going on here? Pikemen. Form square. These 3 units redeployed to that side. You deployed to that side as well. It's going to be interesting to see what ends up here in the last... what we actually did in the battle, because it's so hard to keep a track of what's going on right now, because there's so many troops. Right, turn the entire cavalry force. I feel like we've won the battle at this point. The major point of the enemy force has been destroyed in a momentous attack. They're going into spikes here. Oh, they actually jumped over a few. A lot of the Prussian force is giving way at this point. The weight, just the weight of our army is killing them all. It's an artillery regiment that holds on. Let's get the cavalry out of there. They're really expensive, and a lot of them are unfortunately dying to the bloody spikes. But instead what we'll have is we'll have all the infantry regiments continuing the march through, and there we have it. We have victory. A very messy fight, to be sure. But I think we probably did quite well anyways, and it looks like not a lot of Prussians are gonna make it out of this battle. So I might even be able to sue for peace with them. But we'll see. We'll see. heavy casualties on both sides as two armies of 8,000 men each clash on the field of battle. We end up losing almost 3,000 men, leaving about 5,000 men left of our army, while the enemy loses 7,600 out of the 8,600, leaving only 1,000 Prussians left after the battle. In terms of who killed what, we have a light infantry unit that kills 700 enemies. I need to recruit more of those light infantry. I need an entire brigade just of light infantry. Followed by a regular musketeer unit. Also quite strange. I wonder... I don't think it's Wyatt, because he already had quite high points. The lighter guard cavalry, they did really well in the attacks they made in the beginning there. Winged hussars, of course, killed a lot. Here we got another light troop. And so on as we go through. Cannons did nothing, and generals did nothing. We have a few regiments that did very little as well. This could be the 3 reinforcement regiments, I imagine, that did really little in the fight. Overall, I probably wished I lost about 1,000 men less, but given the difficulty of the attack and the fact that I wasn't able to really wield my key, I mean, if we look at how the forces are structured, the Prussians definitely have a superior infantry corps compared to us, which has a very strong cavalry corps, and the fact that I wasn't able to use my cannons at all, the result is actually pretty good. I was a little bit worried, I must say, when their entire force were concentrated at that and then suddenly pushed out against us. And we saw big parts of 2nd Brigade disintegrate against their attack, and very heavy attack on the 1st Brigade. But as we saw, legendary regiments like the 7th Regiment Wyatt held out even against that great onslaught of Prussian grenadiers. So we have a handful of regiments that make it out of there. I'm pretty sure their power level, yeah, it's fallen to feeble. Mine is weak though, so it's not that great either. But I think to really ram home the defeat, we should probably pursue them. How much is it going to cost me to... It's going to cost me 9,000 to replenish the army. We make 3,000 a turn. A lot of that is, unfortunately, because the... I want to pursue, but at the same time, there's quite a lot of Prussians left. I want to pursue to really give them hell. But at the same time, it's quite difficult. I feel like... and then also leaving the Prussians. Like, I feel like I could burn myself. It's one of those things where we have to kind of start burning ourselves if we want to try and completely annihilate the Prussians. And now when they've lost a lot of their troops, and it probably frees up a big portion of their economy to start re-recruiting troops really quickly. Probably a lot quicker than I'm able to replenish my troops. It'll take me 2 turns. Shut up. It'll take me 2 turns to make it to Berlin. At the same time, I felt like we had the Austrians right ready for destruction, and we sort of had to let them go. And now we are in a similar situation where we have the Prussians almost at destruction, and we maybe have to let them go. And at the same time, you know, I need to replenish this army, but I also need to replenish this army. And it's not like I'm making tons of money out of holding Hungary. Because, like, we make 71 out of this. Eventually, it'll pay off holding a region the size of Hungary, but right now we don't gain much. Why can't Poland know peace? Why is there no peace for Poland? Why do I have to go episode by episode near the brink of destruction, pulling off big battles, and then left with difficult choices whether to go on? I feel like I want to push on them. I feel like with the money I've left, I can probably like replenish a single cavalry unit. I will push. We will push after the Prussians. I'm sure it's gonna change during the end turn. Like I'm gonna figure out something else. You know what? What does the Swedes want in peace? Because right now, the fact that my trade is being raided probably loses me quite a lot of money. If I could get that money back, that would be great. Maybe I can sell technologies to someone to gain some money to replenish my forces. We can continue the attack. Perfect time for the Austrians to go ahead and attack us, right? It's a lot of difficulty. I think I'll have to make my plan as I go here. As I do a few turns in between this episode and the next one, I'll try to figure out what we're gonna do with our forces here. But with that, I'm gonna say, like I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!